Welcome to another episode of the Austin Pod. My name is Anthony, or better known as the ATX Drinker. This is Rachel from 512 Bites. Welcome to another episode. We're going to be talking about the end of 2024, the end of our season finale. Is that what we're going to be calling this?
It is the season finale. This is going to be all about like standouts of 2024, like news stories that caught the attention of the city this year, the sad closures we had this year, which we'll try not to end on that note, but and then some really great new businesses that opened this year, like bars and restaurants and things that just really like caught our attention and stood out to us this year that we're excited about. But yeah, quick recap. Did you get up to anything this past weekend?
I mean, it's been interesting, right? Because this year, I feel like there's been more Christmas bars
Than ever.
And it's almost exhausting.
It's actually too much this
It's
year.
too much.
I never thought I would say there are too many Christmas bars.
Exactly.
But now I'm like, okay.
And I think I saw somebody post that. They were like, hey, can you give me some recommendations on a bar that's just not doing Christmas theme? Like, they don't even know where to go.
Oh my God, that's really funny. Yeah. It used to be just like the main five, which was what, like Lala's, Gibson,
Yep.
Miracle. And now it's like, oh, every single bar is Christmas bar.
And it's tough because they're all trying to do it to make more money. And I get it. You're trying to stay alive during the slower months. And I was just over at Dainty Dillo because they're doing a really cool hot chocolate. You got to check it out. Cinnamon Toast Crunch with like marshmallow around it.
Is it $16?
I think that theirs is actually, I think it was like $13. So but it's boozy. There's booze in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See.
Oh, come on. I don't drink hot chocolate with no booze in it.
I do, and that's what I want, but I don't want to pay $16 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really good. I want to go to that. I went to a rage room this past weekend.
I wanted to hear about this.
And it was not Christmassy.
Okay.
I was like, can we please do something not Christmas themed for once? So we went to a rage room. It's called The Breaking Point.
Okay.
It's near Cedar Park, so it was actually pretty north for me. But it was a fun time. They literally like thrift a shit ton of glassware and bowls and plates and bottles.
Interesting.
And they put you in this room of concrete with like a bunch of other broken glass. But you get like a hard hat with a cover on, like safety outfit, a jumpsuit, and gloves.
Okay.
And it was just like 6 of us girls like throwing shit against the walls and breaking shit. It was so fun.
I love that.
Apparently we had some rage built up in us. And I was confused because I've seen in previous promotions for it that you could have a TV or a printer in the room with you that you can break. But I think you have to pay extra for that now. Because I'm like, how come we didn't get to break any TVs?
Interesting.
But I saw them. They just weren't in our room. So,
Okay.
But it was fun. If you have some rage you want to get out at the end of this year, we're all just kind of pent up rage, then I would recommend it.
That was one of my questions. I mean, with the year coming to an end, do you feel like it ended on a high note or a negative note? Like, are you feeling positive about the year overall, or what do you think?
I mean, it was a good year for me personally.
Me too. I kind of do feel good. Like, ready for 2025 for sure. But there's been ups and downs in Austin, but I feel like things are like going in a good direction.
Yeah.
I know that's very vague.
I know. I try to remain hopeful every year. I'm just trying to keep up with this city. It grows so fast, especially I feel like post-COVID is when I saw it change the fastest.
Yeah.
And it's been hard to keep up, but she's doing her best. Something new that just opened was the new H-E-B. I don't know if you care about that, but
because I go to the East Austin one all the time. And it's so funny because every time I go there, like somebody says hi to me.
Yeah.
But that's like my area.
Oh, right.
And then what's the other one I will go to? Yeah, the Mueller location. That's one of the newer ones. That one's gorgeous and huge.
So this one, it's been closed there for 3 years. And they had a temporary H-E-B across the street.
Yes.
That literally was like not to H-E-B quality standards. It was literally, it looked like another dimension that they never
like Stranger
had.
Things.
Yeah, like a convenience store trying to be a grocery store. but they never had anything that you needed. They were always out of stuff. Staff was not there to help. People were just walking around like looking lost. And I think I went in once and I was like, I will never step foot in here again. Like a grocery experience is supposed to be good and easy.
Yeah.
You know, the HEB tries to make it as easy as possible. And that was just hell on earth. So loving the new HEB. I just went. I'm going to wait more until the hype dies down because the parking situation was kind of chaos. But hopefully it's going to be good from
Anything
here on out.
impressive from being there for the first time?
It was just so like beautiful and big and like modern
Okay.
and fully stocked with like everything. Obviously, it's only been open like a week at this point, but big fan.
Love
big
that.
HEB girly.
I'm sure a lot of people in that South area are in love with that spot. So
Yeah, a lot of people were grateful. And then in news that pissed me off this week, did you see the news about ACL Fest?
oh, about like the tickets and everything.
Dude, so the VIP tickets are $1,600 for a 3-day, and that used to include free food and free drinks. So I'm like, okay, if you like to drink and, you know, get your money's worth, it's a pretty good deal. Like you could make it work.
Yeah.
And you could even like, this is what we did. We got drinks and would take some out to our friends in GA. Maybe they caught on to that because they took away free drinks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. I mean, I remember like back in the day, like 2014, where VIP tickets would be like $750 and you would get all that stuff and it wasn't free drinks. Now that I would understand instead of $1,700. But $1,700 for not having drinks and food or even snacks is like pretty wild.
It's insane. And it, according to what I read, not even non-alcoholic options are free inside VIP.
Not even like waters or what?
Like, I think they'll give you water, but if you want bottled water or Red Bull or Waterloo, like you're paying for it.
Interesting.
So I'm like, so you kept the price the same and took away
Just
something.
took stuff away.
I don't understand what the pull is now for the
Yeah.
VIP. Like, and in other festivals, if you get VIP, you get to go right in front of the stage. Like there's a little, you know what I'm talking about? A little area that's just for VIP and you get like a really cool view
Oh,
of the
that's
stage.
one of my biggest complaints about ACL is all the other fests have like that front row section.
Yeah, but in ACL's VIP, and I think Lollapalooza too, VIP just means they put you on a ledge away from the stage. And it's just like, okay.
Yeah, like half the time I go to VIP just to grab like a free drink, use the bathroom maybe because they have the air conditioned bathrooms, and then go to GA so I can get closer to the stage.
Yeah, so now there's no point in VIP to me.
Yeah.
Like GA Plus has air conditioned bathrooms. So GA Plus and VIP are essentially the same things now.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. I don't know what they were thinking, and it's weird.
It is weird. It's funny because like seeing that they are announcing that they're coming back, which we know they are, it does get you a little excited. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait, that's still in October. Like we're so far away. The lineup drop is what? Usually March, May?
It's
Okay.
May.
So yeah, that's still far away.
But they already decided, hey, let's get rid of the one thing that people still buy VIP tickets for.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And
don't
I
get
was
it.
reading about complaints in the comments, and people were like, oh, and on Reddit, and they were like, they just want you to buy a platinum pass, which is like $5K.
That's insane.
It's insane.
I mean, you can go to an all-inclusive vacation for $5K. You'll be bawling.
I know, but no, oh my God, $5K at ACL Fest. Like, yes, you're gonna get the free drinks and nice food and the view of up closer to the stage that we want, but that's insane.
I want to work with T-Mobile again so I could go to the cabanas.
I know. I actually use T-Mobile, so I'm like,
What's up?
they need to recognize me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I'll be even in VIP next year because there's no free drinks.
Yeah, that's interesting. And sometimes they'll have vendors. Like they had a wine there last year where you can get canned wines, and they were just handing them out. So I wonder if they're going to get rid of them too, where like if there's a sponsor or something. But yeah, that's sad.
It's bizarre. I guess we'll I'll be very curious to see if they even sell out VIP. We'll see what happens. But going back to us complaining about Christmas bars this year, I did go to 2 of them this past weekend. One of them was brand new this year, and the other one was here last year. Tiger Lily.
Yes. Yeah.
It's where the old Estelle's was. You walk in, and there's nobody there, and so you're like, "Where's the Christmas pop-up?" And there's no one there to direct you where to go. But finally, I found someone who knew like where to go, and you have to like go around this corner and then go down these stairs. And it was actually like kind of a confusing way to get there. Like we were all like, where do we go? But once we found the actual pop-up, they did a really good job with Christmas decor. And I didn't get like a typical Christmas cocktail, but I did try my friend's frozen espresso martini.
Okay.
It was served in a little mousse glass, and it was actually really good. And I had myself a spicy margarita, just keeping it, simple. But this is one of the few that I was like, okay, decor on point, drinks are good, vibes are high. I liked it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too packed.
Sells?
So the top does,
Okay.
but where the pop-up is, you have to go down below into like, it's like a basement area.
Okay.
Yeah. They did a really pretty job with the decor. It was like a
Amazing.
tacky Christmas decor. And then we went to Lefty's, was here last year. And I really liked the bar, but it was freezing and it's an outdoor bar.
Exactly.
And there were only 2 bartenders at the bar.
It was busy too.
It was packed. It was a Saturday night and everyone's there. And I just gave up. I was like, this line ain't moving. And I couldn't. So yeah, Lefty's, if you have a dog and like to take your dog to the bars, that's one of the few that you can actually like take your dog. But
We were with our dog last night.
oh, nice.
Drinking.
Yeah, but if you want to get a drink easily, don't go on a weekend night at Lefty's.
Wow.
Go on a weekday.
That's a big factor too. Like a lot of these Christmas bars, they're popping, but they get crazy busy.
It's wild.
That's what somebody complained on one of the posts because I did the top 5 Christmas bars. When Nickel City was number 1, and they were like, "I went there Saturday and I couldn't get in." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean that's a thing."
They do get really packed.
Yeah.
I haven't been. No, I went right before they decorated for Christmas, and I was like, "Damn it!"
Yeah, I still haven't been to the Christmas pop-up yet for Nickel, but we are going like next week because they're dropping like their best whiskeys of the year. So they're having me come in to like review them.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be really fun.
Hell yeah.
But last night we went to Latchkey, which is called Latch Ski because it's like a little ski resort type of thing that they're doing for the Christmas time.
Don't they do that every year? Nice.
Yeah. So that was really fun. They actually had a frozen espresso martini. I was like, I'll take it. I don't
Okay.
care if it's like 0 degrees. I will still drink it frozen.
Yeah.
And it was a vibe. I mean, it was during the week, which I liked. So it felt like a chill dive bar.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go on a Friday or Saturday, it's a completely different. It's a party bar with DJs and
It's
people
crazy.
are on tables.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend that. Like if you're coming to Austin and you're looking to party on the weekend, definitely check out Latchkey. If you're looking for a chill dive bar during the week, check out Latchkey. You just got to know when you're going and the type of vibe that you're going to get. And the bartenders there, I mean, they're so nice to me every time I go. So.
I wonder why.
But I do like tipping. So, but also, I don't know. I think also because I go when it's not super busy. Like that's a factor.
Yeah.
Some bartenders might be doing their thing on the weekends, but I go out a lot on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Yeah. That is when you'll not face as many crowds.
Yep.
Are you going home for
I am.
Christmas?
So I was like, do I want to go back a couple days or should I go back long? And I decided I'm going to go back long. I'm going back for 13 days.
So when do you come back?
January 4th, Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Missing New Year's in Austin.
That was the hardest decision because when I'm back in Jersey, where I'm originally from, it's like, where do I want to be for the fun? And the fun to me is in Austin. That's one of the reasons I live here. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, I go out and party all year in Austin. I'm always doing something. I'm like, so it'd be nice to actually have a relaxing holiday for once. And also there's somebody like Kelsey's family still lives in Jersey as well. So it'll be nice to go back, visit her family. She likes when I come with her to see them. And then we'll see my grandma who's getting older. And I was even thinking that too, like some of our family's getting older. So it'll be really nice to see everyone. My little brother's back from college from North Carolina State. So like we love going to the movies together. We'll go see a movie. We're planning to go to New York City for like 2 days.
For New Year's?
Not for New Year's. It's funny. I've never done New Year's in New York City.
It
just 'cause it's
sounds
so
like
crazy.
hell.
Yeah. Like, it's very costly for hotels.
Yeah.
And then travel is terrible. You can't do it.
Dude, my friends just went for just 3 days, like literally this past week. And they said this hotel that they got was close to, and it wasn't even like a fancy hotel. It was close to like 600 a night.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're not even there like right next to Christmas or New
Well,
Year's.
we're going to have to look at that because we were planning to book a hotel. And I was like, should we go 2 nights or 1 night? So maybe we'll just do 1 night.
Maybe you can find a better deal. I don't know. But yeah, everyone's trying to go to New York City
Oh, wow.
on the holidays.
So, yeah, that should be really fun. I'm kind of excited for it. I think it also gives me an opportunity, like, with what we do, this is more insight bouncing off the last episode of being a creator. Sometimes I feel like I'm not being successful if I'm not making content. So it's always on my mind. But when I'm there, I'm not going to have the ability to do it unless I'm doing like some type of green screen video or something while I'm away. So it'll be nice to just take 13 days at the end of the year. Same thing with the podcast. We were talking about this. You brought up the idea of doing seasons. So like after this episode, we're going to take like a month off and then start back up in middle of January or something. And I think that's great. I think for like the mental health part aspect, people don't realize, like, they're like, oh, it's just fun. You get to eat and drink all the time. It's like that's like 10% of it. The other 90% is just like trying to come up with new ideas for new content, editing the stuff, responding to emails, and it's 24/7. Like, even at night before we go to bed, Kelsey's watching a movie and I'm still focused on work and like doing things.
Editing is pain. Like, so, I started the YouTube channel and I have been like showing my daily vlogs on there, but editing those YouTube videos is so long. It took me like 10 hours to do one video.
Yep.
And I was like, this is not fun.
It's rough. That's why I was even thinking about taking like courses on editing just because it's so much. It's just so I can like really learn it.
Yeah.
It's even harder when you don't know what you're doing,
Yeah. I've told you this, but it's such a new frontier.
Yes.
For both of us. But we'll see. Hopefully 2025 is the year we learn how to succeed at YouTube.
Well, I will say, I mean, even with the podcast, I feel like if you look at episode 1 to episode now, like we've improved with just talking and being natural and then I'm just excited to see like the jumps we're going to take in 2025. Like we're going to look back in 5 years and be like, remember how we were in the beginning?
Oh my gosh. I cannot look at that first episode again. I was so like, hey, so awkward.
So yeah, it's so much to come.
What did you do for New Year's last year in Austin?
Good question. I remember we went to a lot of the secret disco events, and I think they were doing like some type of 3-level story party or something somewhere. I remember one year it was at the Speakeasy in downtown Austin where they have like 3 levels. The Speakeasy Bar, are you familiar with that? I think they're next to Shiners. Yeah. So I think they have like 3 levels, and they were doing a DJ like on every level. Okay. But that might have been 2 years ago. I might be mixing it up. But that's usually we like look for like a random event, and all of our friends go. So it's gonna be nice to just like step back this year.
I know this is the Grinch in me, but the older I get, the more I hate New Year's because every bar that I'd like to go to charges $100 just to get in, and then you still got to pay for drinks in some of them. Some, sure, there's an open bar, but as someone who gets drunk off 2 drinks, so I don't drink much after that, I'm like, this is not equaling the amount I paid.
I know.
And I get really grumpy about it.
Like, I like the idea of quality over quantity. So, like, you could go out to all these bars, spend all this money, or, I'm thinking of the idea of, like, making a steak at home with champagne, being with friends, and then like talking about what you're grateful for the year and the goals for 2025.
What happened to good old house parties?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's what I want for my New Year's, but none of my friends own houses. Like, we're all in our tiny apartments and no one can host in those. So I'm like, damn, we're SOL. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for my New Year.
Yeah.
And if not, I would love to just stay home, but we'll see what happens.
But, like knowing me, I'm going to be gone, but I still plan to probably look at like the best events that they're going to be happening for New Year's. So I'll probably put that out on the ATX Drinker. Because last year I saw it just pop up on like my TikTok. It was like the 5 best things to do for New Year's Eve. So I'm going to still keep an eye out so I can like let people know what to do.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to letting other people know some good deals. It's just me that I'm like, can somebody please have a house party? But yeah, I totally feel you. And my boyfriend he's just like you. Like, he wants to go out.
Really?
Yes. So he wants to do something on New Year's. And I'm like, if you can find something good, my ideal, if I was to go out, is a concert.
Yes.
Like at Concourse, something where they do a countdown at
Yes.
midnight. Like, that is so much fun and way more worth the money to me.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of like a dinner go. I mean, I do like a nice fancy dinner, but it's just very challenging with how the reservations are, and they'll do special menu sometimes. But the idea of like, if you're gonna party, like, do it right.
Yeah. The Concourse always does something on New Year's.
I love the concourse so much.
I know. We should look into that.
Also, I went to Houston. I think I brought this up on another episode, but it made me appreciate the concourse because, like, their top EDM place was nothing compared to what the concourse is.
Really?
Yeah, it's where I saw MK, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, okay, now I see why concourse is ranked so high in the U.S.
What sucked about it?
It was like older, bathrooms were falling apart. To go get a drink, it was a 10-minute wait. Yeah, there was a lot to it. It was the longest line to get in, and then I got in there and the place wasn't even busy.
Wow.
And I'm like, why was there a line? Whereas concourse, even when it's busy, it's like you're in like this, and drinks are super easy to get. So
That's true. It's crazy that we said this. The Concourse is only like 3 years old.
I know.
And already, like, people say it's the best. So good for them. Shall we move on?
Yeah, what's the first subject we want to talk about?
Well, I thought we would start on the sad note because it's sad. But this year in Austin, we had so many closures, bars and restaurants. I'm sure a ton of businesses too, but the ones that get posted about that we're in the know of are mainly bars and restaurants. And I just wanted to read off some of these that were really sad. Maybe some of these you don't even remember they closed. The Lost Well.
Oh, I was just going to say the Lost Well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's a big one for me on my list. Like, the Lost Well is one of the last places in Austin you can go and still get cheap drinks. Like, they would have, like, a well with a ginger ale, like a
Yeah.
whiskey, and it would be $3 sometimes, like, depending on when you're getting it.
Do you think that, like, was one of the reasons it couldn't make it?
Well, that's definitely part of it, right? Like, the city's evolving, and rent's going to go up no matter what, so you're going to have to charge more.
I mean, all the bars around that place are
Yeah.
charging a lot, and that's why they're still there.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, that shows a little bit of old Austin fading away. But is that also the same everywhere?
Yeah.
But
true.
yeah, super sad seeing Lost Well go. Awesome rock bar that a lot of people loved.
Places I was not sad to see go was Unbarleavable.
You love Unbelievable.
Shut up. Be quiet. I know that was your go-to bar, Anthony.
Hey,
but-
no, don't Uno reverse card me.
Foxtrot, I was not sad to see go. That was a chain from Chicago. They randomly, like, closed in
Yeah.
the middle of, like, a day where their employees didn't even know.
Wow.
Like, they screwed all their employees and were just like, sorry, we're bankrupt. And
Weren't they supposed to come back or something?
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
That one location is coming back.
Okay.
I don't know. I did not miss it. And this was an enigma to me, and it still is. But Higher Ground, Estelle's, Superstition, all closing like at once.
And without, like, letting us know.
Yeah, like usually people will put on Instagram like a farewell message or some kind of announcement.
Yeah,
but
like
there was
Superstition,
nothing.
they were closed for like 4 months, and people were saying, are they closed? I didn't know they were closed. Like, they didn't even believe me when I told them.
Oh.
And there's not a lot of, like, clubby DJ places in Austin. And Superstition was one of those places. I really liked Superstition for certain aspects. And yeah, just like out of nowhere. And I checked it was like last post September 2nd.
Very odd. But their other two bars that they did own, which was Victory Lap and Skinny's, got bought, I think.
Yeah, because they're still running.
Yeah, they're still running, which I actually did like those bars, the more casual bars. And I did like Higher Ground. I had some good memories there.
I had a
so.
lot of good memories at Higher Ground.
Yeah, that's so sad.
I think we need places like that. Like, I don't know how to put it, but it's just like downtown where you walk in and everybody's dancing with the DJ.
Yeah.
Like it just had the right vibe.
They did. That's wild. Um, s- some big names, a lot of coffee shops. Try Hard Coffee, which is going to be turned into radio next year. Revival Coffee, which was the all pink coffee shop. Cenote, which apparently is going to move locations. I can't imagine them not on East Cesar Chavez, but the East Easy Tiger, that big ass location that's now a Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Yeah,
That seems like it's such a big location, but hard to maintain business
know.
there. I wonder because if it's like out of the way of E6. I don't know.
but people have been liking Whiskey Tango, so.
Yeah. And then I just saw this one actually last week, The Perch. It's that coffee shop on the water.
Oh, okay.
One of the very few places in Austin we actually have that has a like straight up view of the water. So that was sad, but I feel like that property will get bought really quick. Hopefully by not like McDonald's or something or a Starbucks. That
imagine?
would suck ass. And then some oh yeah, do you remember when Valentina's barbecue closed?
Yeah, that was like a big thing on Reddit and everything.
That was crazy because they've been in Austin as a food truck for over a decade, and then they were moved to a brick and mortar, and I saw so many great reviews about it, and then suddenly they're just closed.
The food was amazing. I think what I heard on Reddit was that the owner like wasn't paying people, or there was like some money issues going on. So they were like fighting, and then the owner was like, "No, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing," but then they closed, and
They are not back.
it didn't go very well.
Yeah, there's some tea there that we don't know. Giddy Up's closed. Eisenhower's, which we spoke about, that was a sad one. Irene's, another sad one. Salt and Thyme, which had been there over a decade.
Yep.
That one was up. Ossing Den, that one sucked.
Which that one is like
I hated that.
interesting because there's another place there now,
I know.
which you just went to.
I did. It was really good.
Okay, so we're good. So that one cancels out.
I mean, yeah, but it was, I don't know. The Thursday night thing with the in the back, I thought was a really cool local
Yeah.
thing. Like even I didn't tell people about that. Like I was like, this is such a small room that if I shared the line, no, like no one wants to drive traffic to something already very tiny. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
This one broke my heart, but it was my favorite like pancake in Austin, which is this little local coffee place called Pacha. That sucked for me. But I think the biggest loss this year was Outer Heaven.
Oh,
That was like really sad.
I really agree. That was another one that it gives you like all the things you want for a cool Austin bar. It's a great late night spot. You can go there to 2 a.m. That was like where you would go besides Barbarella.
And like I told you, it felt like how Barbarella used to feel when it first opened, even though Outer Heaven opened post-COVID. It just felt like that's where like locals would go just to be themselves. It was chill, not hoity-toity or snobby, and the owner was an actual like person and not just some big wig from who doesn't even live here, if that makes sense. And I could tell he was like really upset that his landowner is closing down. So that one was heartbreaking.
I know I bring this up a lot, but Saturn Bar is one of those bars that gives me those vibes. Like on the weekends, they get busier. It's a place that gives you like a little bit of everything where you get like a divey feel, but they make really cool cocktails. They throw crazy events. Like for New Year's Eve, I already know they're going to do something. Like last year, they did bottle service, but it was bringing you buckets of fried chicken for dinner.
I would love that.
It's so cool. So they do like they remind me of some of the vibes that you would get from like Outer Heaven. Little more upscale with the cocktails, but they still party just as hard with like live music and DJs. So I don't know. I'm just so impressed with that bar.
This is random, but have you been to the Italian restaurant right next to Saturn?
No, I see it every time, and I'm like, I got to go there.
I'm not in that area a lot, so I just drove by it once, and I was like, there's a restaurant there?
Yeah, and it's usually pretty busy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have not been yet.
Sometimes downtown feels like a whole nother world.
Yeah.
Because it's like all the people that just work downtown, that travel and commute to there. It's a lot of the tourists that are in town. And it's amazing how many of these places get busy just from tourists.
True.
You know, and I don't want to like use this as an example, but like the Dead Rabbit reminds me of that. Like 50% of their business is going to be from people just visiting the city, which is great because I think they deserve to stay open. They're on my list of best bars that open this year. But there was another one I was thinking about. I was just there. I'll think about it on the podcast. But I went there and I'm like, I don't think anybody here lives in Austin, and they were busy. And there was somewhere I was at, and I was like, this is like the most, yeah. I'll figure it out.
You don't remember where you were?
I don't.
Was it downtown?
It was downtown, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I'm trying to think of specifically what it was. But, you know, like upstairs at Caroline's another one that's like that, where it's like 60% of the people that go there probably are like, because it's also connected to the hotel.
True. I forget about that.
Yeah, obviously like hotel bars, like the Driscoll feels that way sometimes. It's like not a ton of locals go there. It's a lot of people staying or visiting. But yeah, it's pretty wild that downtown just feels like a different area sometimes.
Yeah. I was just watching some random YouTuber who was visiting Austin, and she was like, I don't know why people recommend to stay in downtown Austin. Like, this is not the vibe. She's like, I moved hotels on the east side, and now this is the vibe.
Okay.
I think she was probably mid-20s, so that makes sense. If you're in your late 30s, 40s, maybe downtown is where you should venture out. But yeah, if you're in your like mid-20s to early mid-30s, then I guess the east side is where you'd want to be.
Have you ever been to the P.F. Chang's downtown?
There's a P.F. Chang's downtown?
Yes. That's
where?
What, it cracks me up because I'm like, there's literally just a random P.F. Chang's downtown in Austin.
Where?
It's like across the street from the convention center.
What?
Yeah.
How long has that been there?
It's at least like 4 or 5 years.
Are you sure?
Yeah. And I go by, it's always busy.
Oh, is that by Maiko Sushi?
Yes, like a little down the street.
Okay. I literally, I have blinders on when it comes to chains.
That's why I think it's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was there. Yeah, I mean, they can afford it.
True. And they're
It's
always busy.
crazy.
And they have, you know.
Oh my gosh. People, it's got to be just tourists in that PF
That was
Chang's.
another one of those ones that come to my mind. Like they're here. We're in Austin. Let's go check Austin out. And then they look up like, well, we know P.F. Chang's is good, so let's go there.
I mean, maybe people can't find like place to go that's, you know, not like it's a 30 to 40 minute wait. And so they're like, they give up and just go to P.F. Chang's.
Yeah.
I guess that I could understand.
For sure.
But if P.F. Chang's is your first choice when you're visiting Austin,
I know.
we're going to fight in the parking lot. Yeah, wild. So moving on, what about like some stories or Austin news headlines this year that like caught your attention?
I know you have some. I'm going to jump into like the biggest news thing for me. And that's since the pandemic, I feel like this is the first year that rent prices in Austin, Texas has dropped.
Oh, okay.
It's been on the increase. I mean, there was a couple years that I heard of even people moving here and they had to get Airbnbs because there wasn't enough space in apartments to get a place. So they'd be like, oh, I have to wait 3 months until my apartments are ready to have me. So, and because of that, the supply and demand, there was like a huge uptick in price. And it started to like mellow out a little bit. But this year, there's been a major drop. And I think it's because whether it's, you know, new apartments popping up around the city or
People
just
are
not as
leaving.
many people here. Yeah.
I think people are leaving a lot.
You know, we're still on the increase, but it's like it just steadied off a little bit.
Yeah, my apartment randomly last year tried to raise my rent by $200. And I was like, for what? Like, huh? No. And so I
Yeah.
like haggled with them and they were like, okay, we can raise it by just 20. And I'm like, well, that was easy. Also,
They do it
you
like
really
that.
needed that extra $240 of the year?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And I don't want to tell, you know, everybody moving to Austin about this, but right now there's some really good deals out there.
I feel like people listening to this podcast probably already live here. So I think we're okay.
I would say, I don't know, I don't totally know about that because if I was going to move to Austin, I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to type in like, what do I need to know about Austin? And we might pop up, you know?
That's true. You never know. You never know.
I wouldn't be surprised if like most of the people that will listen to this aren't people that have been here forever.
Yeah, fair.
Tell me what news pops up for you.
Well, a big one this year was the Michelin Guide coming to Texas. That has never happened before. I didn't even know it was even possible for us to be on their radar. And I saw, I don't know if this is true, but I saw that it was the Texas Tourism Board that paid the Michelin Guide $1 million to come to Texas
Interesting.
and find some restaurants that can be in the guide.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, that's why they came to Texas. We paid them to come. Like, is that the case with every city now? Like, you got to pay to play to get in the Michelin Guide?
I did see a couple comments saying that people do have to pay to be in it.
That's wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
Despite that, it was really cool to see the community and like the chef, you know, all the chefs in Austin getting really excited and supporting each other. There's a lot of small family-owned businesses here in like bars and restaurants that, you know, they don't get this type of recognition. And I saw some places that deserved hype getting recognized, and it was just really cool to see. And everyone was super excited. And I thought it was like a really happy time.
Yeah,
in
and
Austin.
the fact that like La Barbecue and Leroy and Lewis got Michelin stars, how cool is that?
That's really cool.
Barbecue, baby.
That's wild. It's still crazy that Franklin's didn't get one.
I know, and I think they deserve one, honestly.
I mean, literally, if you Google like Austin, Texas, Franklin's barbecue like comes up.
Yeah. Actually, really cool news on Monday. So keep an eye on the ATX Drinker. I'm going to Uptown Sports Club, and I'm doing a video with Aaron Franklin.
What? About what?
About their cocktail menu, actually. So they're doing like a little Christmas cocktail menu, and they're like, "Do you want to like show it off with us? But we want you to do it with Aaron." And they're like, "This is only going to be offered to you." And I was just like, "Oh, then I'm in," because like I respect him, and I think like what he puts out is incredible.
Yeah.
And he's an owner of Uptown Sports Club, if not the owner. I'm sure he has like other partners, but
Right.
so that'll be really fun. I'm doing that Monday, so it'll probably come out like that week.
That'll be dope.
Yeah.
He seems really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, the eclipse, I think was like one of our biggest news stories this year. I think it happened in April. Did you look at it?
Yeah.
With the glasses?
All of our friends went to Auditorium Shores, was it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have done that. I literally just walked outside my apartment and I didn't have the glasses, but it was so like overcast, cloudy that I was able to see the ring, which is,
Yeah.
I know they recommend don't look at it, but I was like, it's fine. Anyway,
Yeah, that was really cool.
I thought it was dope. Like people traveled from outside of Texas just to come to be in that strip of land that the eclipse was going to be like
Yeah.
the best scene. And they went to that festival nearby.
Oh, yeah? There was like an EDM festival.
Yeah, I considered going, but I'm glad I didn't because I think it got canceled like halfway through, which is annoying. So that was a big one. And I don't know if you remember this, but Blues on the Green announced they were not happening this year. And then I randomly like, just kidding. we're back. And I don't know if it's because HEB saved them, but that was weird to
I
me.
do remember that. That was a really good news story because everybody was so happy that they were coming back.
Yeah. Not that we went, but
It was always
like,
when it's so hot.
I
But
know,
it is such
it's
a cool event.
yeah. And I wonder if like doing this, is it a fake out thing this
Yeah.
year? Because then the Egos thing was also like, we're closing.
I know people still think
Just
they're
kidding.
closing, but I don't think they are.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of happy. Like that was a good story. That made me appreciate Egos.
for sure.
Because after that, I like started going more, and I put them on like 4 lists that I put out recently.
it's a great bar.
It really is.
People, were pissed when they said they were closing. Give me one.
I mean, my biggest highlight from the year, this isn't a news story, but this is just my like highlight, was meeting Matthew McConaughey. You know, I wanted to meet him forever.
More than Posty?
No, that was the year before.
Oh.
Yeah, so I wish. It would be Posty #1, but hopefully Matthew doesn't listen to this.
Oh,
Hey.
he's definitely listening.
I want to put good juju out into the world. I'm not kidding you. I wouldn't be surprised if we can get Matthew on the podcast one day. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a big believer in making things happen.
You are a Pisces.
We're going to have him on. There was somebody else I was thinking about the other day that would be like really fun to have on. Obviously, Glenn Powell. Now that one seems harder because he seems.
What? That seems more doable to me.
So I disagree because I think that Matthew is like, oh, this is a podcast about Austin, Texas, and you guys would interview me about my love for Austin, Texas.
But Glenn's from Austin.
But I think now he's like on this rise where he's just all about going to do movies right now, and he's not willing to do stuff like I don't see him doing Austin things all the time. Matt is constantly like he's always at the FC games, he's at the UT games, he's doing local events. Glenn's like, I'm from Austin, but I'm out here doing my life. Like
He's like, I'm Hollywood now, baby.
yeah, at least for a little bit. Maybe he'll come back to his roots, you know, or maybe he'll hear this and
We'll
be
see.
like, if you want to come back to your roots, you got to go on the Austin pod.
I definitely think he would have gone to that lookalike contest if he were in town.
Yeah,
Like, he literally was in Ireland shooting a movie.
that's a very specific thing, but
But
I do agree.
He took the time to film a full ass video for the contestants. Like, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Which I have that on my list of fun stories this year, the Glenn Powell lookalike contest.
Yes.
Because that is something that is so like wholesome, and it was done like not trying to earn money in any way. Like there was no tickets sold for it, like nothing done at all. It was truly a third space in Austin in Auditorium Shores where people just came, did something funny, silly, hung out, and it was over within an hour.
Yeah.
Like that's so nice. And
I
I
agree.
wish we did more things like that. This was also the first year UT was in the SEC, and we did really well. I don't want to talk about those losses to Georgia.
Yep, but there's still potential. I
We're
mean,
still in the playoffs.
Yes.
And we are playing, well, by the time this comes out, we'll have already played. So hopefully we beat Clemson
When does this come out? Right before Christmas, right? This
the
episode?
23rd.
Okay, so yeah, literally like the day or two before. So
So we're in the playoffs. So that was exciting this year. Like, I don't know, just watching Texas finally win a lot was great. And people were like, oh, you're in the SEC. Like, you don't know how hard it is, which sure, our schedule wasn't that hard, but still, like, cut us some slack. We're new here.
also super random, but just made me think about your YouTube channel. But Rachel is now doing vlogging on YouTube. I know she mentioned it before, but go check that out. It's Rachel Lately's page. So where you went to watch the game with your boyfriend on one of the vlogs.
Yeah, we went to Dogwood on West 6, and he went to A&M, and I went to UT, and so we're natural enemies. And and I was so scared we were going to lose. And so with every touchdown we scored, I'd just be like, suck it. And he's like, all right. But he's such a, like, what's the word? When you're a good loser. Good sport. That when
Yeah.
we won, he was like, well, go win it all. Like, you'll beat Georgia, which was nice because we did not beat Georgia.
Yeah. I love that.
It's funny, this recent YouTube video I shot, I filmed myself watching the Georgia game, and you can just see, like, the hope die from my soul. But yeah, really commend any YouTubers out there because it's really
That's
hard.
a lot. I actually, on the Whiskey Boys vlog, we showed us going onto the field at UT, which was a really fun vlog to put out.
Wait, why were you there again? Oh, for Still
Austin. Yeah, because they're one of the major sponsors for UT.
Oh, you didn't put that in your own vlog?
No, because it was just so much going on. So I was like, let's just do the Whiskey Boys weekend with Still Austin.
Oh,
And it was on there. Because that's how YouTube is interesting. We're like, you know, you just type in Austin, Texas vlog, like all of these will still come up.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still learning. Something that was crazy this year was the 75-cent martinis at Whistler's. That was insane.
was
It was so
insane.
insane that I had to write it down because I was like, I can't believe they did that.
Yeah.
And it was so packed every Friday from 4 to 7 p.m.
And I live a block over from there. So I would drive by and there would always be a line around the corner.
Yeah.
It was so wild. And I know people hate on it. They're like, I have a full-time job. I would never do that. But, you know, for the younger people that are off on Fridays or get out of work early, it's a fun way to like be with your friends, go get all these little martinis for 75 cents. And I don't know, like I like doing weird stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of cool.
I really commend them for sticking with it. I thought after like 1 or 2 Fridays, they'd be like, this is too much.
Yeah.
Like, we're canceling it. But no, they did it the entire summer. And I'm like, damn, I hope the bartenders got tipped well. And then we don't have to go into this in detail, but do you remember at the very beginning of the year, the drama with Guest House?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll let you kind of describe that because I want to hear how much you're going to say.
Well, it's just the it's one of those things that makes me think like no press is bad press.
Yeah.
Like the very first thing we all heard about it was this really crazy bad review that went viral. And then the restaurant like pushed back, and then it was just chaos. But it made people like pay attention. Like,
Because I feel like they're doing well.
I think so too. I obviously know nothing about them, but I see them busy every night, especially weekends, and people posting about them. And I've told you this before, but the drinks there I had were so good, specifically a tequila mezcal drinks. But everyone I know enjoyed their experience as well. But yeah, it really is like a love or hate experience with Guest House.
Yeah.
But I just remember all of that coming out. And then I remember specifically the $15 onion that they were selling on their menu, which I don't know if it's still there, but we ordered it just to see what the hype or why was it $15. And that was the one thing I ate that I was like, this is literally just an onion. Like, no. You should not be
Wow.
charging $15 for this onion.
Ugh.
So
I'm making it a priority. I feel guilty I haven't gone there yet, but I will go there in 2025 for sure.
yeah, there's so many places in 2025 that they opened in 2024 that I wanted to go to. Loudmouth Pizza that you said was really good.
I like there, yeah.
Palm Pizza, which I've seen a lot of people say is like really good New York style pizza. Casa Bianca, a lot of people whose opinions I trust on food told me it's worth going to.
And they have a rooftop bar there, a little Italian spot in East Austin, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, and Flower Shop, which also is
I still haven't been there.
me either, which also technically has a rooftop.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the videos I want to do because I was like, as an influencer, a lot of people will post about something. So then I go, all right, I'm just going to wait and not post about it because if there's already 20 videos out, whatever. But Flower Shop, one little different angle to take about it is like it kind of is like a rooftop with the downtown city views in the distance. And it looks kind of cool. So that might be another way to show like, oh, this is a cool rooftop bar to check out.
I put on my Instagram story, like what's somewhere new that opened this year that y'all loved. And somebody wrote the If You Know, You Know rooftop. Did that open this year?
It might have opened just before this year.
Really?
Like, it might have been like October the year before. I'm intrigued because it feels like it's been around longer.
Yeah. Maybe it was last year because I'm like, surely. Maybe last fall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do have my top 5. I'm going to give my top 5 bars in Austin that opened this year. I'm going to rank them.
You want to do that now?
I could do that.
Okay. Have at it.
All right. So my top 5 bars that have opened in Austin, Texas in 2024. I'm going to start off at number 5. It's going to be Busty's Bar and Jukebox. This is more for my North Austin people. You're going to get 70s decor with pool tables, really good vibe. I felt like that area needed another bar for all those people out in that area. Ooh, number 4, I would have to go with Daisy Lounge. Daisy Lounge is for my South Austin people. It's next to a seafood restaurant. I'm blanking on the name of it right now. But it gives you like speakeasy vibes, and it kind of is a hidden door, but most people know it's there. 3 stories, high-end cocktails, so it is going to be a little more on the expensive side. But there's not that many like bars like that in South Austin, so it's a really good option. I was blown away by the service, by the way it looked. Definitely a cool vibe, and if it was downtown, people would be talking about it all the time. Number 3, I would have to go with the Dead Rabbit in downtown Austin. I feel like, the New York City version of the Dead Rabbit was voted one of the best bars in the U.S., and you can see why they're so popular as soon as they opened in Austin, Texas. A fun Christmas bar to go to right now. Definitely gives you downtown vibes. Prices are going to be the same with that, but it's always busy. And the drink menu is insane. Like I liked almost every drink that I tried on the drink menu. I know we could always like joke about prices being crazy, but at least it's good. That's a whole nother thing. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Travelers Lounge in East Austin. I just love that it's a new, unique experience. It's not a gimmick. It's not like a weird speakeasy, but then you just walk through a door and then the experience is over. No, like the experience continues once you sit down. You're hopping on this two-decker bus. You're going to feel like you're going on a journey with the waiter or waitress. And I liked almost all the cocktails. Some of them are weird and interesting, but that made me excited instead of just trying normal cocktails that are on other menus. And I truly love the owners. They're like the sweetest people in the world, so they deserve your business. So definitely check them out. Now, number one was a tough one because it's nothing like revolutionizing or however you would say it. But I just feel like they know what they're doing. It fits Austin and it's great. And it's two bars, but they're owned by the same people, so it makes sense. And that's going to be Dainty Dillo and Chalmers. And Chalmers just opened up their back patio with fire pits and TVs to watch sports. You can walk right up and grab a drink like this. It's super easy. Same thing with Dainty Dillo. You know, it's on their patio. You get like views of the river. They're like a 5-minute drive from each other in East Austin. They're also owned by Armadillo Den. So Armadillo Den last year won the best bar in Austin in 2023. And then we're going to be doing that soon on the ATX Drinker page, the 2024 best bar in Austin. So they pretty much brought all that energy, all the things you love about the Armadillo Den to those bars in East Austin. I just went the other night, got some hot chocolates. I was super impressed. I just think if there's a place that's going to be successful and last long in Austin, those are the places.
I forgot Dainty Dillo opened this year.
Yeah.
I really like that bar. They also had one of the best burgers I've had this entire year. It's by a food truck also at Armadillo Den called Biggie's Yard.
Yeah.
Biggie's Yardbird, I think. It is so good, their burger. Didn't know that Chalmers were the same people. I did enjoy Chalmers for the vibes, and I think they're going to have more live music in 2025, right, on that stage.
100%.
So that'll be fun. I was surprised Dead Rabbit wasn't your first.
I know, because I agree with some of the complaints that you have. Like, it still is a downtown bar with higher prices. And I'm factoring in all those details. Like, I like the idea that Chalmers is going to have live music. I like the deal that it fits the Austin vibe a little bit more. You know, maybe if we were in New York City, I would give Dead Rabbit number one. So, like, and when I'm being the ATX drinker, I don't make it just about, like, things I love. I think about, like, what's something that everybody will love and what bars give the most balance. And it's the same reason that Nickel City is my favorite bar in Austin. Is it perfect in this aspect or this aspect? No. But it gives me a little bit of everything when it comes to, like, good dive bar food. They have cheap drinks and nice cocktails. So that's why when I give a recommendation, I want to make sure that, okay, there's going to be something for everybody. But seriously, Dead Rabbit, I mean, every bar on this list I really like, and they're all great additions. If I did like a top 30 bars in Austin, most of them would be on that list. So definitely check those spots out.
I definitely need to go to Daisy Lounge and Busty's. I have not been to that one yet.
Oh, cool.
But when I did ask people their favorite places that opened this year, a lot said Busty's.
Okay.
So good pick there. I wrote like 3 places down that I thought were very unique to open this year, and one of them was Traveler's Lounge. I agree. I think it's really a unique concept, and it was done in that double-decker bus, which is really cool. Parking is easy because it's right next to Cabana Club, so very easy to get parking there. The whole thing is an experience. Drinks were a little more of a miss for me, but maybe that's, like you said, I just needed to get my flavor profile and whatever drink, like liquor you prefer, then maybe there's something that you'll like instead. On my list, which I don't even have them down for that the drinks were all amazing. It was just the vibes, and that's Powder Room.
A lot of people like Powder Room.
I love the idea of not having your phone with you in a bar. Like, that's not such a crazy concept, and yet in the year of our Lord 2024, it is. Like, people cannot be without their phones, and I totally understand, like, some people are parents and they're like, I can't be without my phone. I need it for my kid. But for people that do have the privilege of just, like, being off their phone for a bit, I think Powder Room, when you step behind those doors going from, like, a sandwich shop, which, side note, I heard the sandwiches are really good there, a sandwich shop into the back, and you're just, like, transformed into this beautiful space. I was like, I didn't even know all this space was back here.
Yeah.
And it's not like Austin vibes, but it's definitely like swanky, intimate vibes where you can like actually have a conversation with someone and not have to worry about them like looking at their phone.
Do you remember what the sandwich shop was called?
Manny's.
Manny's.
Yeah.
I got to check it out. So I haven't been to Powder Room.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, the drinks were okay. I feel like it's not if I'm overwhelmed with a menu, I'll just stick with something that's really hard to F up, which is a margarita. Um, my friends got something a little more complicated, but they said they liked it.
Okay.
They finished it. So again, just got to stick with what you can like literally just find ingredients you recognize in a menu that you know you like and hopefully like it'll be fine.
What's your thoughts on Prelude?
I actually have Prelude down as somewhere I really liked this year. I had low expectations and but mainly with the food. I thought the food was really great.
Okay.
The drinks were also kind of a miss for me.
Sure.
But did you go yet?
I haven't gone yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to know your opinion.
It's I don't know, those simple drinks that like there's nothing in them and they kind of look like water with like a small hint of color to them. Like I don't know, it's lighter and it wasn't bad. It just wasn't like amazing.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. Nowadays, there's so much competition with how many bars there are. Like, you want to be impressed. If not, there's 300 other ones I can go to.
I know, so much to keep up with. And this place I forgot opened up this year. I think you were the first person to post about them, but Space Cowboy.
Yes, I think I was. That was wild because I think the way they were like having their grand opening, but I found out that they were opening that week. And they even DM me. They're like, when we open, we want to have you. I was like, oh, yeah, I'd love to swing by. And I made like a reservation like that Wednesday, the second day they were open. And yeah, I mean, I remember really enjoying it. I haven't been back, so I'm guilty of it because it's so many places. I got to keep trying new spots. But yeah, I've heard same things. It was like when it first came out, people were like, oh, is this a gimmick? Cool. In Austin, just another pop-up place that has a. But then once like all that noise faded away, people were like, yeah, it's actually pretty solid, you know?
I was really shocked how much I like the food. Like the shishito peppers, the short rib. And I know I'm not crazy when my boyfriend will tell me straight up when we go somewhere, like if I'm like confused and I'm like, is this good? He'll be like, no. And I'm like, okay, you're right. But this time we were eating and we were finishing all the plates and I'm like, this is good, isn't it? He's like, this is really good.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Because even though the robot conveyor belt thing is cool, it's not somewhere that I would go back to a lot. Like, it's fine for once, for one time thing. But the drinks were not for me again. But the food was. So I just wish it was in a setting like if it was like a setting like Suerte or Este, like I think it would do really well and see as more like high end. But because of these robots things and the environment is like cactus with clouds hanging above your head, I think it confuses the consumer. So at least I was confused, but the food was good.
And I put it on my list as like a good place to go for a birthday or a special event, even like families. I feel like the children might even enjoy that if they come out with you. I think they can bring full families because it is a restaurant. So it's a really cool thing how they have like this conveyor belt with these little robot things that will bring your drink out to you. It opens up and you take your drink out of it for the people who never heard of Space Cowboy. So definitely worth a try if you're trying to look for like a new restaurant to try or even some new cocktails because the cocktails were interesting.
Yeah. So those were three places I thought were very unique that opened in 2024, which again was Traveler's Lounge, Powder Room, and Space Cowboy. And then for my list of new restaurants that opened this year that I thought like really killed it in the food department, it's crazy because three of them are places I've tried in the past 2 months. So I don't know if I can rank them like you did. I know Zoe Tong is up there. I tried them in April, and they opened at the beginning of the year. It's like high-end Chinese cuisine.
Okay.
But very like casual vibe in the restaurant. But the prices don't reflect that. So it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But it's on Barton Springs Road. I don't know. That feels like a really hard area to survive to me. So I don't know if they'll be there in that location long. I hope so. But the food there it was so good. Like me and my friends shared a bunch of plates and we really liked it. Um, and then Oko, which I mentioned earlier, is Filipino food. Really great. I recommend getting their pork skewers or their chicken wings, which were superb. They are from the same team behind Eastside King and Top Row, which is also a new restaurant, which I need to try in 2025. And then I have Teddy's.
Oh, you're the stuff you showed looked really good.
It was so good, dude. Like, I was blown away.
Also, I have a question. I think you didn't show yourself in that reel, and I was like, "Oh, what? So, what made you not show yourself, or did you?"
I had my hand in it.
But your face wasn't in it. And I've noticed like you always show yourself in most of your reels. So, what was the reason behind that?
I don't know. We were like, it was empty, and there was a baby behind me.
Okay.
And
I was just so intrigued because like my social media brain is like, you've
fair.
even told me before, like it helps to show your face so people know. So I was like, oh, I wonder why she didn't show herself.
Yeah, I was also wearing my big Texas sweatshirt and like not feeling cute. So I'm like,
Okay.
But if I did vlog it, I've noticed when I'm vlogging and trying to get a reel at the same time that I'm just overwhelmed and
100%.
it's like I'm like okay, but I do show my face eating it on my vlog. So
And I
that's
like, okay, shot that. Now let's do it one more time with the other camera.
oh, I'm annoying myself now.
Yeah.
Like I'm like this is exhausting. But yeah, whatever. Same thing with Oko. I did not get my face in it for my reel, but I vlogged myself
Okay.
eating there. So that is on my vlog, not my reel. But Teddy's was so good. It had this like stuffed quail, which really hit, and duck confit flautas, which were amazing, and a lump crab tostada. It's called Southwestern food there. Make sure you're going to the one on 38th Street and not the one on Manor, which is Teddy's Cocktail Bar, which is totally different.
Also, a good recommendation from this year. They just opened, so it's hard for me to put them on my top 5 list. But I think they're a fun cocktail bar to check out. So I don't want to knock them just because they're not the other Teddies.
And then I have Mexta, which is a high-end Mexican restaurant in downtown Austin, literally on the corner of 6th and Congress. But you would never know it's there. Like, they have a tiny sign, but nothing, you can't really see inside. But once you step inside, I felt like I was back in Mexico City. It was beautiful. The food was really good. And I was a big fan. But my number one spot that I ate this year had to be Victory East Grill.
Wow.
It is so good, Anthony. I went twice in the span of like 3 months. I do not go back to restaurants a lot because I'm always having to try new places. But Victory East Grill, I even went there for my birthday dinner. Like, I wanted a place that I knew I was going to like the food. So their lamb chops, their mac and cheese, their chicken wings, it's just so good. And I need people to get on board with this place because I hope it stays.
Cool.
And they knocked it out of the park. I've mentioned before their little hidden cocktail bar in the back. It's called Busy Signal, where we've mentioned music and hip hop on the weekends. And it's just a vibe in there. I really think the cocktails are actually good there. And if you've heard me like complain about a few places we just mentioned, it's hard to impress me with cocktails. So I can't say enough good things about this place. I'll absolutely be going back, and I think everyone should try them out if you haven't yet. So, big fan. I also wrote down some places. I'll just shoot them off real quick that I thought were good this year. We already mentioned Prelude, but Bambino I thought had really great pizza, and we all know that so many pizza places open this year.
I know.
But Bambino I thought was really good.
Okay.
That burger for one of my favorite burgers this year. It's like a tie between that burger and the burger at Dainty Dillo. I think they were both really solid.
Okay.
Poeta, Endo Sushi. Oof, some people did not like Nomad, but I went for brunch and I thought it was actually really good. Have not been for dinner.
Do you when you go to restaurants, do you write down your thoughts to remember them, or you just do it off the top of your head? Because it's like so many places.
I'll know because I film everything, and then when I go back to like to make a reel, I'll be like, okay, I remember loving that, did not like that.
Okay.
So if I really didn't like something, I just won't put it in the reel. Is there anywhere that opened this year that you tried that you weren't a fan of, or that you thought like maybe the hype was just too much and it like didn't live up to expectations?
Oof. Nothing comes to mind. I mean,
you liked everywhere you went.
I would forget about it if I didn't like it. That's my problem. I will say I'm a very, very positive person. I'm like almost to a fault. Like I'll go somewhere and be like, well, I see what you're doing. And even if it's bad, I'm like, I can't be like, well, this sucks. I'll be like, oh, I hope this works out for you. But I think if I went somewhere, you know, I say this about especially my content creation. If you see me post about it, that means I liked it. If you say something like, well, you never say something negative about places, I'm like, yeah, I won't post about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most likely, like the places we are recommending, I think those are the places to try. But none come to mind that I'm like, I genuinely don't like.
There's one. So again, I asked people on my Instagram, like, tell me places that you were excited about, but then did not live up to the hype. And this one, I've got to agree with people on. Even though I loved the vibe, I think it was decorated beautifully, but the food did not hit. And personally, the cocktails weren't for me. But that is Swim Club. Gorgeous venue, like it's so pretty and so pretty for pictures, but the food was not it. And I know that's because all the money went into making it a beautiful space.
So yeah, I'm gonna I can't say on the food I didn't eat the food, and I think they're actually bringing in a new chef and menu if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure, but I really enjoyed my visit to Swim Club. So that's what I mean. Like, I think the decorations are awesome. The fact that you can get like Frozens and go hang by the pool is so cool to me. I thought the cocktails were really fun. I like it. But I didn't have the food, so I can't say.
Go for the drinks, not the food. These two places I did not try, but they were written in the most by y'all, and that is Red Farm, which is, it opened at the same time as Zoe Tong. Yeah, they didn't like it. It's also an upscale Chinese place that's in downtown Austin. It opened at the same time as Zoe Tong, so there was a lot of like, which one is better type jargon back then. I'm glad I chose Zoe Tong because it was delicious, and I have not tried Red Farm yet, but from people I trust, it was like it wasn't like anything they would return to. And then one that we've discussed briefly here that a lot of people had a very poor experience, and I saw their Google reviews, and it is not good. And I still don't know how to pronounce this place, but San Gines.
Okay.
I don't know. It's that churro place on South Lamar.
Okay.
Apparently when you go in, it's really confusing for the customer. There's 3 separate lines. If you want a cocktail, if you want churros, or if you want separate food. And it's just chaos there. They said staff was rude and that the food wasn't good.
3.6.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And people who have been to their original location in Madrid, Spain, said it was amazing. And so they said the fact that they were so excited about this location in Austin, they were disappointed.
Did you go?
So, not yet. I'm waiting for the hype to die down so I can go and like maybe have a good experience. But yeah.
Was there any for you that you went to specifically that you weren't impressed with?
Yeah. This place, Redbud.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know what that is. I haven't gone yet.
I just went. It's where the old Contigo location used to be. It's owned by. The branding is so familiar that I know it's owned by someone else in Austin that I can't put my finger on. I just got a burger and fries and it was fine.
Okay.
But it was like really
just nothing.
Yeah, it was just really, the prices were a lot for looking like such a counter service casual diner place.
Okay.
I think it's great if you have kids maybe because it's very spacious, and when I went there were a lot of kids there. So
I think that's why I haven't gone.
Oh, you're like, I don't want to be around kids.
I saw pictures of like a playground.
Yeah, there's a little playground there. So yeah, it's not somewhere I feel the need to go back to. It was just fine. That's mainly it.
also, Rachel showed her boyfriend on her vlog. I don't know why that just popped in my head because we were talking about things that happened in 2024. So go see the boyfriend reveal.
Dude, that YouTube video got so many hits just because I showed my boyfriend.
Bro, that was so genius.
I know.
When you did that, I was like, she knows what she's doing. She's so good at it.
Well, it wasn't even like I'm planning this in advance. It was
It came to mind.
Well, no, it was okay, I want to show my real life on YouTube. I spend every day. I spend every day with him.
Well, it crossed my mind because I was like, what else? Like, I'm just thinking of fun ideas for the ATX drinker because I want to post videos in there. And I was like, oh, what if I just did like a little video with Kelsey?
You should.
Yeah, and I'm like, I might do that where I'm just like interview with Kelsey, my girlfriend. And I'll be like,
I would watch that.
oh yeah, because people need to understand she's literally a new aged hippie.
Yeah.
Like we're similar, but we couldn't be different at the same time. Like she would sleep in a tent in Zilker if she just could pet dogs all day and be happy to live in wilderness because she just is happy. Like she doesn't need to make money. That's just who she is as a person.
Is she a Gemini?
She's May 16th.
Taurus. Never mind. I love that though.
Yeah.
She's so funny. I would definitely watch a video like that. But yeah, I spend every single day with my boyfriend. So if I'm going to show my life, I'm like, but I made sure to ask him first. I was like, are you okay with me showing you on my YouTube? I was like, by the way, it's not going to have many views at first because no one, it's really hard to grow on YouTube. But I am going to like tell people like that you're over there and people will be nosy and go look. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So there you go. And
yeah, it's funny. Kelsey gets recognized every once in a while, but I put her like in a decent amount of my videos. So
yeah, she's a star. That is all I have for our little recap for 2024.
What's the?
What?
Oh no, I was gonna like to end it. I was gonna say we could talk about what's to come for 2025, but what do you have first? Then we'll do our send off.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, did anything so crazy happen to you this year that it sticks out in your mind?
I mean, it's the Matthew McConaughey thing.
Okay, so yours is a positive.
Yeah, I told you. That's all I do is like talk about.
So nothing bad happened to you this whole year.
It's the best life ever.
I woke up one morning, and this was before we did the podcast, so I never talked about it. And there was a roach in my coffee.
Oh, what the hell?
When you wake up in the morning and your brain is just on autopilot, I took my mug, I put it under my Nespresso, I pour the coffee, and then when I got my coffee, I was about to take a sip, and there was a dead roach in my coffee. I'm sorry, it was so traumatizing that it really sticks out to me this year.
That would bother me. You took a sip or you didn't?
No, I almost did.
Oh, thank God.
I almost did, and I was like, there's a fucking roach in my coffee.
I mean, if I could just like give something random that happened that wasn't great was, and I'm sure people relate to this, I think that's why I wanted to bring it up, is I had a package stolen from my apartment for the first time, and that was annoying. So we use Fetch, and it's a warehouse. So like our apartment, you have to give them the address of this warehouse. They drop it off there, and then in the app, you schedule Fetch to drop it off at your front door. So it's like a middleman, so everything takes almost an extra day sometimes.
That's annoying.
And then you have to schedule it. And sometimes it's nice because you're like, okay, I can get it when I want. So if I'm on vacation, it's not going to be sitting at my door for a week. But we were just in Houston, and it got dropped off at like 6, and we got home at 9. And I was like, wait a minute. I thought I had packages dropped off. They were both stolen.
What was in it?
One was a whiskey getting delivered for the Whiskey Boys, so I didn't get that. Kelsey found it the next day, like on the curb. So it was like somebody who came into. We've been having this issue of like people coming into our apartment building and just walking around for packages and stealing stuff.
Oh God, that would piss me off.
And then I've like kind of got twisted a little bit because one of the other ones we got a new name tag for Nelly, and they came and dropped it and put it back on our front porch or like where the thing is. So I was like, oh. So you're a criminal, but
you're picky.
Yeah, or like, were you nice enough to drop it back off?
That's crazy.
So I was like, okay, I respect that. Like, that at least you gave us back something that you didn't need, but you still stole like a bottle of whiskey that was coming from me. And I felt like at first I was furious. I'm just like, oh my God, you're not caring about other people. You're just doing something for yourself.
Yeah, it's like violating.
It's violating. Yeah. I remember when I first moved to Austin, our car got broken into. I think I accidentally left my car unlocked. So that was part of it. But they went through everything in the car. There was like stuff that was in my, thing just spread out everywhere. Stuff was stolen. My Ray-Ban sunglasses, my iPod headphones were gone. iPhone headphones. And And that felt very violating because I remember there was even a smell in my car
Ooh,
that smelled different. And I remember
weird.
just feeling like icky because
Yeah.
somebody went into my own space.
That literally happened to me like last year.
Really?
Yeah, 15 years here, and I finally got my car broken into.
Did they shatter the windows or was it?
No, thankfully,
Okay,
I
good.
think I left it unlocked. But nothing major was taken. I don't even remember. So
Okay, that's good. Since then, now we don't like leave stuff in the car. So like little lessons you learn.
yeah, dude, this was at my apartment.
See, that's it.
Like,
yeah.
cool. To end it on a better note, were there any like standout episodes you loved of our season?
Oh man. I mean, personally, it's funny because actually one of them were good, but the ACL episodes, I just love music so much. I love live concerts, so it was really fun to like talk our favorite artists with you.
That was fun.
What about you?
I think my favorites were the what's in and what's out
Okay.
in Austin. I think we'll definitely do that again, but updated in 2025. Obviously, I love the dating episode because I got to just rant about my past bad dating experiences. And I really liked, what was it? Episode 20. I know you titled it the Glenn Powell lookalike episode, but I'm like, we talk about so much more. It's really just one of our like shooting the shit episodes and like talking about everything. That those are the types of episodes I love. So
I'm learning that. Like that's how YouTube is. You need a catchy title. But you'll know from us, like we don't talk about one thing. We talk about 10 different things. And you can't, and I've even attempted to do that where you put multiple things in the title, but then it just gets crammed up. So it's like the shorter the better.
yeah.
But I think the people who follow us knows we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff on every episode.
Yeah. So in 2025, like what more would you
So
like
I'm
to
excited to like make enhancements to the podcast in general. But besides that, one of our goals that we've talked about before was bringing on guests. We want to bring in like a diverse group of people. So sometimes it might be an owner of a bar in Austin, Texas. Maybe it will be a local celebrity. Maybe it'll be another influencer. Maybe it'll be Kelsey and your boyfriend. I mean, it could be like just random fun ideas that I think it will bring a little new spiciness to the podcast. What do you think?
I would love for us to like somehow get into event hosting. I don't know what that looks like
Same.
yet, but I think if a really cool opportunity were presented to us and it just worked, then maybe we could work something out.
I like that idea. There's like so many ideas I have. Another idea is to do a live podcast. I know that I've seen other big podcasts do this. And you can do that as an event as well. So like the people would come in, maybe they order a cocktail. It'll be in a space where we're on stage. We would shoot the podcast live.
Oh gosh.
You could do questions, like people can ask live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's like ways to do. I could send you some so you could see what they look
do
like.
that.
But that's also like an event. So after you do that for 45 minutes, you do the live podcast, and then it leads into maybe a band playing after you, or maybe you doing whatever the event is meant to be, like a dating event. So there's so much potential with that, and it also grows the brand. It does a lot. So
A lot of potential.
so much potential.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in 2025. But regardless, this season has been so much fun getting to record and talk with y'all. And a lot of y'all like have come up to us in public to say you love the podcast, which blows me away every single time. We are truly grateful for y'all watching and listening. Anyone who's left us a nice review, like it means the world to us. And we are super excited to come back next year. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was awesome. I'm always somebody that's more excited for what's to come. But like looking back, how cool we finally did it. We started a podcast when we originally got the idea. It took us like 6 months to do it. So it's really cool that we started it. I mean, this is Austin's podcast.
It truly took us so long to get started. So I'm really proud of us for actually like sticking with it every single week. And it's harder than it looks, y'all. But no, we're really grateful for all of y'all and can't wait to see y'all next year. We hope y'all have the best Christmas and New Year's and holidays, and take care of yourself, rest, just like we're going to do.
Yeah, and really, thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to us. We get to do this like a hobby, being foodies, being drinkers. We get to do what we love for a living, even though it is a lot of work. It wouldn't be possible if y'all weren't interested in what we're putting out. So I'm super grateful. I'm going to definitely have a toast New Year's Eve to this year, and the podcast was a big part of that.
Hell yeah. So one more time, we are the Austin Pod. You can find me, Rachel Lately, and 512 Bites. You can find Anthony at the ATX Drinker. We are on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. So thank y'all again for listening, and we will see y'all next year.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.